here's a good fun way of making lobsters. It's pretty easy to do, just using a 3-part mould. I'm using a cane that I've already put together, and I'm just giving it a squeeze. You might want to just use plain colour. You can use terracottas and ochres and oranges and make mixes of them, and you might also want to put some creamy colours down the side. Different lobsters are different colours. You might even want to make a black lobster or a blue one. Anyway, here's a little slice of this cane, and you squeeze it in to help make it the right shape for the first mould, which is the body mould. I'm just taking the edges off because there's some ochre that I don't want on this lobster. So then I push that into the mould. I've already rounded it off a little bit so it goes in easier. And I open the mould out a little bit so that it squeezes in and squashes all the way along. And I press it down really hard into the mould. Any that sticks out I can then trim off. Be very careful when using blades. Because of the blade use, this is a project for adults only. I should have said that at the beginning. Right, for the second part, I use some more of the cane, exactly the same. And you can either use 2 pieces or you can cut one slice and cut it in half down the middle. That's if you're using a used fresh cane. Sometimes they're available from my website. It depends if I've just made one. So I'm squeezing a little bit into one side. And another piece down the other side. This is for the claws. Once again, I'll have to trim off the excess. If you're very careful, you can hold your thumb over the mould and slip the blade between your thumb and the mould, and that helps you to guide it to the edge. These little wasted bits I can use for the legs because they don't really need the colour in them. So I'm forming a little point. These legs can be a little bit difficult to use, especially if your clay's a very soft one. So you can actually make the legs by hand. You need 8 legs, so you can make them from 4 little strips. I'll show you how to do the moulded ones, but if you find it difficult to use the mould, just make the legs separately. No, there's some rattling. Well, just stop sitting on that chair then. So push the legs into the mould and hold it carefully. If it's sticky, it might stick to your fingers a bit, so be careful. Don't use a very sticky mix. As you can see, I'm pushing each pair of legs in, a pair at a time. Always making a point at the end. This one's a little bit more difficult to trim, so if you can get it in just the right thickness, it helps. I'll just take a little bit off. Demold the legs, and then press the legs just in the upper third, not the upper third, just below the upper third, sort of just in the middle third, but slightly towards the top. Then you demold the little claws, and you might want to just do a bit of work on them to trim them up, make them look a little bit tidier. You don't want edges showing. And just to separate the claws. Then take them and put them on upside down again. The legs are on upside down, of course. That's so that you can see the marked side. And just press that on nice and firmly so it sticks together. And then curl those little legs round. You'll hardly be able to see them when the lobster's made, but they do need to be there. Then you'll need to just flex the mould slightly to let the lobster pop out. And as you take him out, handle him as little as possible, but curl his little legs. Hold him very, very gently with your other hand. And curl his little tail underneath the legs. The less you hold him, the less you'll deform his body shape. I'm just trimming up a bit of the edge of the body, which looked a bit, it just had a mark on the edge. So he's nearly finished, but he needs some important little things. He needs 2 little black eyes, so I'm just accentuating the holes here for the little black eyes, and 2 little whiskers. I don't know what you call those whiskers, but the long feeler things that lobsters have. So I've put 4 holes in. Just, you don't need to do that, but it just helps you to put these pre-made whiskers in. You'll need to make these yourself. Just pre-roll them very, very thin and make them into a sort of hockey stick shape, like a candy cane shape, as fine as you can, and bake them in advance. And here are the little eyes as well. Now, to attach all these things, you're going to need liquid Fimo, or any liquid polymer will do. And I just put a little bit on the side of my work surface, and I use a cocktail stick to apply it to the lobster. First of all, we'll do the eye holes. Just put a little bit of liquid Fimo on each hole. And then add these little accent beads. You need a fairly big accent bead. Some of them are really, really tiny, and those don't make the eyes big enough. You need the sort of slightly bigger ones. Then the feelers push the little hook shape into the holes which you've put liquid polymer on to glue them in. Always holding your lobster really carefully so that you're not damaging the mould, the shape that the mould's made it. Just rearranging him. So he looks cute. And there you have him.